CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett joins us now. Errol, as you reported, we know Jared Kushner met with the Russians twice. There's also a report that Kushner had several undisclosed contacts with the Russian ambassador to the U.S. Can you tell us anything more about those contacts?
That's right, Rena. The more reports we see, the worse it appears to be for the Trump administration and those who were part of the inner workings of the Trump campaign. Reuters was reporting of at least 3 contacts between Jared Kushner and the Russian ambassador during last year, and as well as 18 previously undisclosed calls and emails between the Trump campaign and Russian officials. This is raising questions as to why these contacts weren't disclosed earlier and what the purpose was for these previously undisclosed exchanges. What Reuters is also reporting is that before the election, calls between Kushner, General Mike Flynn and the Russian ambassador were about fighting ISIS and countering terrorism in general. After the election, when it was clear President-elect Donald Trump would be the next commander-in-chief, those conversations shifted toward a possible back channel of communications that could be created. Now, we should note that today, speaking to journalists traveling with the president, White House officials didn't necessarily speak specifically about these allegations in the Reuters report, but H.R. McMaster, for example, the National Security Advisor, said that back-channel communications allow for a discrete level of communication and they aren't necessarily nefarious. Again, he was speaking in general, not of these specific allegations, but it is concerning for the Trump administration because it is a slow drip of reports which suggest that the Trump organization in general has not been as forthright or forthcoming with its communication with Russia as previously believed.
As you might imagine, the Democratic National Committee is demanding Jared Kushner be fired, much like former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Do you see that happening, Errol?
Well, here's what's interesting about that comparison, Rena, is now with these reports, and we'll see what the Kushner lawyers and what Kushner himself says about this in the days to come, but it essentially puts Jared Kushner in the room or on the phone with General Mike Flynn during some of the conversations for which Flynn was believed to have been fired for having. He misled Vice President Pence on his conversation with the Russian ambassador in saying that no, sanctions were not discussed at all, these post-election sanctions implemented by the Obama administration because of Russian election interference, when in reality, or reports or at least are suggesting that sanctions were discussed and that General Flynn told the Russians not to worry about it. And what was unusual about that report is what we know is that Russia didn't retaliate for the post-election sanctions that the Obama administration placed upon them. So you'd have to wonder, did they have additional information? Did it have anything to do with the conversation with Mike Flynn? Yes, he had to step down. Jared Kushner, though, is not just part of the inner circle of the Trump administration, he's family to President Trump. He is his son-in-law, married to Ivanka. So it would be highly unusual for the president, someone who values loyalty and those close to him, to see him dismiss Jared Flynn. But there is, as you saw in my report with Representative Liu and other Democrats, they're calling for Jared Kushner to have his security clearance revoked because he didn't disclose these reports.
Yep.
And they may want to go further.
Yep. Is it just me, Errol, or every time I talk to you, it seems like everything reaches a crescendo on the weekends? We've always got lots of news. Our Errol.
There used to be quiet weekends in Washington, right. I'm told. Not these days.
You don't get a lunch break on Saturday, my friend. Thank you for joining us, Errol. Appreciate it.